Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today is packaging day of all of my cookies and treats that I took to my event with me, two events that I had actually. And the previous video I did, which was the bake-off day, was baking off all of the 4 different types of cookies that I had, and last minute deciding to make some chocolate peppermint bark and some other bark. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out. And then in that video, linked in the description box, I have the videos listed of the cookies that I made prior to the bake-off day that I made and froze ahead of time. So go check those out if you haven't done so already. I'd appreciate that. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more of my baking videos. So these boxes I bought off of Amazon, and while they are really cute, they are not sturdy boxes. So I definitely will not be buying them again. As you can see, I had to tape the inside to keep them from coming loose once I put them together. So usually in the slat or on the side pieces that go into the slat, there's like a little, I don't know what you want to call it, like a hook, so to speak, that when you latch it inside the box, that it connects to the box and allows it not to come out. But for some reason, this didn't have that, and it just was not working for me. So rather than have to find some other boxes last minute and I didn't want to waste these, I just taped the inside and it worked just fine. But I will say that I will not be buying these boxes again. So make note of that. I'm going to actually post an Amazon review. I don't usually post reviews in there, but I am going to, just to let people know that that's the issue I had. Otherwise, I think they're cute and great boxes, but they just would not stay together. So again, here I am just putting them all together. And then here I'm going to be adding some tissue. So I started with cutting some tissue the size to place on the bottom, just to make it nice and clean inside there. And I did that through all of those, but then I realized that the cookies were not tall enough or raised up high enough for my liking to, so you could see through the little window of the box. The window of the box is not that big, but it's big enough that I wanted the cookies to be close to that so that people can see what's in there. Because if I close the box and you can't see any cookies in there, it looks like it's empty. So once I get all of the tissue lined at the bottom, and technically I really didn't have to do that because as you'll see later, I'm going to take the paper and just crinkle it inside and make a like a riser sort of. So technically I didn't need to do that, but it wasn't until I started putting the cookies in that I realized that they were not raised up enough. So adding the tissue like I did here, just kind of crumpled in there, made it just enough so that the cookies had enough height so that you could see that something was in there. But when I closed it, it didn't touch the lid. So that was a good thing. Um, so again, trying to close these was also an issue because um, it just wasn't an airtight seal. And I mean, I didn't expect it to be airtight seal, but I expected it to be better than it was. So again, what I did with these, which you'll see in just a moment here, that I took my logo, my sticker logo, and that's how I kind of sealed the box shut. So in the front, I basically overlapped from the top of the box to the side of the box, and then I put my sticker on it. And then on the very back, I have to have a food label that says what the cookie is and what ingredients are in there. So because I'm doing a mixed box with assorted cookies, I basically made a label. It also has to say made in a home kitchen and my permit number and all that other good stuff. But underneath that, it has to say what the cookie is. So I put all 4 names of the cookies, and then I didn't have to list each cookie recipe, if that makes sense, because a lot of them had the same ingredients. So I just basically had to list all of the ingredients from the recipes. So if each one had flour, I didn't have to list flour 4 times. I just listed it once, if that makes sense. So in a minute here is where you're going to see me start putting my stickers on. And the food label I put on the very back side of the box. Oops, that was my bad. I guess I was started working on the bark first. I guess I wanted to finish with all the food first so that my hands were clean after, so that I didn't mess up my stickers. So here I am doing the peppermint bark. Again, in my last video, when I showed myself making the bark, I tempered the chocolate, but I did not show that because that is a good process, and that's like a whole nother video in and of itself. So if you guys want to see how to temper chocolate, I can definitely show you that. I will say that it is a little bit time consuming. So that's kind of the sucky part of that, is having to wait for the chocolate to actually get into temper. But anyways, here I am just breaking these up into random pieces, and I'm weighing them out into 6-ounce portion bags so that I can, what I did with these actually is I put them into Christmas mugs. I will show pictures at the end of how I had them put in the mug and all that stuff with my tag on it and everything. So that's what I did with these, is I just wrapped them individually in 6-ounce bags. And next, you're going to see me do the same thing with the cookies. I had some cookies left over that didn't fit in the boxes I had. So I am packaging up 4 cookies each and wrapping them in the bag and putting a little cardstock paper underneath just to give it a little structure. And then, as you see here, I'm putting them in the little Christmas cups. And these are some, they're new, never been used, but they're old style Christmas cups, like from when I was a kid, but they've never really been used. So I have some newer cups that you'll see when I post, I'll put some pictures at the end of some of the stuff, how the boxes were labeled. Actually, you can see in the back here a little bit, the labels that I have on my boxes there. It's more my sticker logo. So here are some more older style cups, which have also never been used, but these are a set of 4. And I did sell a couple of these. I wasn't sure if they were going to sell very well because they are older, like more classic cups from when I was a kid. But I did sell a few of them, but mostly the newer style cups that I bought to sell with the goodies were the ones that actually sold the best, which I kind of figured that was going to be the case. But I thought that kids might like these cups, being that they're, more cute and kid friendly. In these cups, I stuffed some tissue in there as well because when I put the cookie down in, it sunk too far in and you couldn't really see what was in there. So I again put some tissue in there just to give it a little bit of height so that the cookies stood out of the cup and you could see what was in there. If someone was walking by my table, they could kind of see, what was in there. So if you're doing something like this, I suggest also doing like that if you have a deeper cup. The ones that I put with the bark, I did not need to do that because the bark was such a big bag and container, and the cup was kind of on the wider side, so I didn't need to do that for those. So, like I said, I was just kidding earlier when I told you I was labeling my cookies, because here is where I am labeling my cookies. So now I am putting just my logo sticker on, and as you can see, the cookie box in the front, how it is stuck down inside. And so I put the sticker on between the front side and the top side to help keep it raised upright so that it wouldn't sink in like that. And even with the sticker on it, it's still kind of sunk in a little bit. So I have to find some new boxes. I still have a bunch of these boxes left. So if I do use them, I'll probably just use them to give to people as like gifts for family and friends that I'm not worried about selling, because I don't want to sell a package like that to someone and have it be, looking like that. But if I'm just giving it to someone as a way as a present, that's totally fine. But I'm definitely going to go back to Amazon and write a review about this, a nice one, of course. I'm not going to be mean about it, but I'm just going to give the information to people so that they know what to expect when they get this box. And here I am putting my actual label, the food label, with the ingredients and any allergens and the fact that it's made in a home bakery, etc., and all that good stuff. So, one thing I'd like to note is that I am learning a lot as I go with this cottage business, what I can and cannot bake and all that. So, it's definitely been a learning experience, I will say the least. I'll put some pictures up here so you can see the final results. There was some things that I made last minute that you did not see, but we'll see on my setup at the event. This is my table at home with just my cookies and my cups that I did. And then here is a close-up of the cookies. I've got my pumpkin cookies, my Mexican wedding cookies, my almond shortbread cookies, and my crinkle cookies. The next picture is of my booth setup. I only had one table with limited space, so it was kind of hard to set everything out nicely. But the lady in the back is my mom. She likes to come help me set up, and thank God she does because it takes a while. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you all in the next one.